Hey everybody, Justin here, and I just wanted to share with you 6 tips that I have while going to a Friends of the Library sale to get inventory for your online resale business. Specifically, fulfillment by Amazon. That's normally how I sell a majority of my media. When I'm looking for books and other kinds of media, my mind is in the FBA mode. Things that I can send into Amazon and have them sell for a profit. Um, so one of the reasons I like Friends of Library sales is because one, it helps the library. Two, it helps get people books across the country, even overseas sometimes, for an affordable price that they may not be able to get near them. And three, because it makes me money. Now, it is work. I'm not gonna lie. Going to library sales are work. Many of you have probably been to library sales. Some of them are humongous. Some of the ones in major cities are just out of this world big, almost overwhelming. If you don't have help. Um, a lot of them are smaller, and there's a trick to that too because a lot of times if it's a smaller sale and it's advertised, people are going to get there and they may be able to go through the whole room in 30 minutes and clear everything out before you even show up. So let's get into these six tips that I have to help you make money and to get profitable items for sale on FBA. The first thing is you got to find a sale. Now, how are you going to find a sale? You can go to various sites. I think the most popular one is probably booksalefinder.com. And you can sign up and they'll send you an email. You can set it. I think mine is like 150 or 200 within like 150 miles of me or something like that. And then it'll give you all the ones that are registered and that are close. There's a couple other ones out there, but booksalefinder.com seems to be the biggest. Now, that's good and well, but everybody knows about Book Sale Finder who resells books for the most part. So you're going to have more competition. Another method that I use is I will Google libraries near me, right? And I'll get a list of all the libraries um, within X amount of miles near me. Okay, I start with my own county and then move out in the surrounding counties. I try to keep it within a 2 to 3 hour drive, 3 hours at the maximum. You know, because you go 3 hours away, spend hours at the book sale, even do some other stuff. Way up to 3 hours back, it can be a whole day. And with the family size that I have and stuff like that, it just doesn't always work out. But you have to find the sale. So call the libraries, right? Make a sheet, put the name of the library and their phone number, and then call them and ask them when their Friends of the Library sale is. Now, 9 times out of 10, you're going to ask the people at the front desk or whoever answers, they're not going to know. So you want to get a hold of whoever's in charge of the Friends of the Library. And a lot of times it's a volunteer basis, so they may not be in. The person at the desk may know, and that would be beneficial. But leave your name and number, and start writing those dates down. That way you have a list, right? Um, of sales that are going on around you, and hold on to that list. Don't be like me. I have to make a new list every year. I always seem to lose lose my old one. But ideally, you will make that master list and you will hold on to it. And then what you can do is you'll go to that sale and then you'll reflect when you get back on it. Hey, this was a good sale to go to. You know, I've got sales that I go to year after year, a few times a year, and then I have some sales that I probably am not going to drive an hour and a half away for ever again, right? So there's the first tip that you got to do. There's the first thing, first piece of advice: find a sale. The second thing is you have to be prepared, right? So excuse me. That means being prepared for me means I bring stuff to carry my books in. Now, I've got a bag that I've carried around forever. I need a new bag. I always fill this one up really fast, and then I have to unload it or get a bag from them. A lot of times you'll find boxes that the sales will let you have, and that's always really helpful. But don't bank on having those boxes from there. You don't want to be stuck with a bunch of competition around a bunch of people and not have anywhere to put the books that you're grabbing off the shelves. That's a pretty bad scenario if you don't have anywhere to put the money that you're going to take home with you, right? So come prepared. I see a lot of sellers, they bring like dollies with boxes on them, and they're like bungee corded to a dolly or something like that. There's a lot of different ways that you can do that. I bring a bag and I travel sort of light, um, but I have brought boxes before. But my point is you're going to need to bring something to put the books in to get them home. Don't ever underestimate the amount of books that you may get either. It's like going into a Goodwill or going to a store and you think, oh, I just need a couple things. I don't need a cart, and then you grab one or two things, and then you're like, oh man, I do need a cart. So don't be in that position, because while you're out unloading and getting more storage to put your stuff in, somebody else could potentially be getting those books that you should really be grabbing. Um, Again, under being prepared, you want to be on time, and by on time I mean you want to be early. Now, do people go to sales the day after the first day? Yeah. Do they go to sales the last day? Yeah. Do I do that? Sure, if I'm busy. But ideally, you want to get there on the first day, and you want to get there early, because odds are, especially if it was advertised, there's going to be other booksellers there, right? So you want to get there early. Stand in line. Wait around a few minutes until it opens. Okay, so be early. All right, and along those lines, if it offers a members only preview night, go to that. Go to the members only preview night. It may be a charge. I've been to some where they charge you $5. I've been to some where they charge you $25. I've been to some where they charge normal people $5 and sellers $30. So it just depends. But you wanna make sure you get that sale as early as you can. And if they have a preview sale, pay the preview fee. Trust me, it'll be worth it to get those early books. Third thing we have is you want to get the right equipment. When I first decided to start selling books, I read a book called I think it was called um, Barcode Booty or something like that, and it sort of talked about arbitrage, retail arbitrage, and stuff like that, and selling books. Um, and I went to a book sale, and this guy had a scanner, and I did not, and he was flying through, and I had no idea what I was looking at. In my mind, I was thinking the things that people said: odd books, rare titles, things you wouldn't think of, niches, and stuff like that. And man, I found a few things, but my phone didn't have service. I didn't have a good program to look him up, and he pretty much dominated. And I decided that if I'm going to do this, I am never going to a book sale without some sort of scanner ever again. So you need to have the right equipment. Now I'll show you what I use. I use a Dell. I use a Dell Axum, right? A PDA, okay, and it has a socket scanner on it, and I use it with a program called A Seller Tool. They're the same people that do FBA scan. And the reason I like that is you have two different kinds that you can use. You can use a live stream, and this goes for most of the third party seller tools or apps or whatever you want to call them. You have a live where it's hooked up to the internet, and it goes right to Amazon, tells you what the price is, and you have a database, and the database uploads periodically, and Amazon's database, and it puts it onto an SD card or even onto your phone, and then you have that. Now, the difference between the database and the live is the live, you get real-time data. The database could be a few hours old, could be a day old, could be a couple days old. I don't mind the data myself because, the seller rank isn't going to fluctuate a whole lot within a couple days. It could, but generally you're going to be pretty safe. Now, this is old school. A lot of people might not like it or whatever, but I love it and I use it all the time. I'm trying to see if I can get you a good shot of it. Maybe there we go. This is what the screen looks like. You see the very top is merchant fulfilled used, and you can set all kinds of metrics to here, but mine shows the first few used, and then the other line there is new. Well, that's really hard to see, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, and then it went blank. But it's real fast. It's got a scanner, and so when I'm in there, when I'm in the library, I've got the books. I'm bam, barcode, 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 and it tells me right there, and I already know what I'm looking for. I know that the area that I'm looking for, and I can see it. So, say for example, you want to look this book up. Making Theory, Constructing Art. And I'll give you a few examples of books if we can get it if we can get you to see it and it doesn't have a too strong reflection. All right, so there's the book. You pull it up, bam, right? And so this one right here, see if we can see that. Oh, we're gonna get it. All right. So there's no FBA. That would be the bottom green line. The blue line is new. So it's selling for what? $850, $850, $990, $1290, and that's with shipping. So this book, I'll probably sell it for $12.99, $11.99, and if you look down there in the bottom, it tells you the seller rank, 391,000 down there is what it is. Yeah, 391,000. So that's not bad. I try to stick with anything under $1 million. So we got that one, and then you got a couple really decent ones. This one's under $1 million, and if you look there, it is $21.10, and the FBA is what is that? At 30 something? I'm reading backwards. Yeah, 35 or 40, and the seller ranking is 939,000. So it'll take a little bit longer to sell, but a nice profit margin. And again, we got another one here. We scanned it. I'll just tell you because the glare is really bad. But lowest merchant fulfilled is $15.40. Lowest FBA, and there's one, is $17 and 779,000 seller ranking. Bam, another one. Lowest merchant fulfilled, $12. No FBA, 809,000. Right, and then we've got. I found this big book right here. Now it's got a name on it, and these I'm fairly certain these are not tabs that came with this book, right? But overall, it's in decent shape. There's not a lot of writing in it or anything. It just looks like it has been sectioned out, and it's worth selling, even in acceptable condition. Look at this, 919,000. But can we get you to see it? There we go. The lowest sale price is $94, right? $94. Merchant fulfilled, $133. FBA. And I think I paid $1 for that, at the library sale. And make sure that you check other places too, like the media racks and stuff like that, not just the books. And I'm going to go over that in one of my other points. And you also want to make sure when you're scanning with these things, a lot of booksellers will see a book like this, no cover, no ISBN, right? It does have an ISBN. It just doesn't have the barcode, so you can't easily pop it and scan it. So a lot of people pass it up. It's just not worth their time or whatever. But what you can do is you open the book, right? And you go to the title page in the information page, and you find the ISBN, and you just type it in, right? 156731264 and then you hit OK. It is 700,000 seller ranking, but that sells for $12.99, and I'm going to put it up for, the $12.99 is a merchant fulfilled, but new it's like 13, and there's one new for 22. Lowest FBA is 10. I'd probably get maybe 12, 13 out of it, but never would have got that, right, if we wouldn't have put that number in. Okay, so make sure you have the right equipment. Do not go without the right equipment. It will bite you in the butt in the long run. Like I said, I use the Dell Axum, the PDA, old school, almost 100% of the time. People at the library, some of the older ladies and stuff aren't sure still what we do with these things. It's pretty funny, but they come in handy. I will always probably use the PDA, or at least the database system, because it's so fast. You don't want to be stuck, at least me, where I'm at, I don't want to be stuck in a basement somewhere and depend on the Wi-Fi or the internet to make me money. I just go with the database. All right, so those are the first three. Be prepared, have the right equipment, find the sale. Number 4, don't be intimidated. Do not be intimidated by other sellers. You don't have to be a bully. Some other sellers are bullies. But don't be a bully, right? I try to be courteous. I try not to freak the old ladies out by hovering over them or push people out of the way. I try to share the space. You know, it's not just there for me, but at the same time, I'm working. All right. Some people will get up in your face, come stand right next to you, try to bully you around. I just stand my ground. I mean, we got to share, right? And don't be intimidated. Don't think that, and don't doubt yourself either. So don't think that just because somebody else is there, they're going to get all the good stuff and you're not, right? There's plenty of stuff to go around. I've went right behind several book scanners and scanned things that I don't know if they scanned or not, but it was right after they did a row, I did a row, and I found it. And it typically happens every sale. I mean, that wasn't like a one-time thing. I typically find something after just about everybody, and I don't let them boss me around. At the same time, I don't push them out of the way. I just go there, play my own game, do my own thing, and and I'm always surprised that sometimes people just walk away. I'll go up and scan next to somebody, and then they'll just walk away. And there's some people that I talk to every time I'm at a sale. I see sometimes the same people when we talk, you know. But don't be intimidated by the competition. Um, number five that I actually covered in number three with enter the ISBNs manually. So my fifth point was enter the ISBNs manually. Don't just scan the ones with a barcode and then leave. Now, sometimes I do if I'm pressed for time, and I'll typically scan all the barcodes first, and then I'll come back to some books that I didn't hit. So, I mean, you want to be efficient. You want to get the most done in the least amount of time efficiently. So sometimes if there's a bunch of other resellers there, and people are scanning, I'm not going to stop and take a minute to scan a book when I could. I'm sorry, a minute to plug in an ISBN when I could scan 20 during that time. I'll wait till some of the competition thins out, and then I'll go back and I'll manually input them. The last tip I have for you is what to look for. Now, dollar for dollar, to get the most bang for your buck and the most money for your time, you're going to want to look at the nonfiction. Any kind of nonfiction. Sometimes they'll have signs that say nonfiction, and then they'll have one that says history, and then they'll have one that says psychology, self-help, blah, 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 right? So I start with the nonfiction. I never start with the history, really. I start with the nonfiction, and then just move my way out, depending on what the setup is of the sale. Sometimes it's all thrown in together, sometimes it's not. But you want to do nonfiction first. Nonfiction has the most value. And then second, I do religion. Religion, I don't know what it is. I think it's that a lot of people that read religious books, they get like the newest ones, and then they redonate them. So a lot of the religion books I get tend to be fast sellers and fairly newer. But I always have luck with religion and the religion sections. But start with the nonfiction, the religion, the history, and that kind of stuff. But don't count out the nonfiction either. Now, I typically hit the nonfiction just about every sale. I tell you what I do not do though, unless it is unless the sale was just really, really, really bad, and I don't want to waste a trip. I don't do like the general nonfiction because you're gonna get a lot of Dean Koontz and Daniel Steele and all those people that write like 15 books a year that aren't worth anything. I start with the fantasy and sci-fi. I always have more luck with those than the nonfiction. So hit the fiction first, then go down to the nonfiction. I'm sorry, hit the nonfiction first, and then go down to the fiction. Start with the nonfiction, head your way down to the nonfiction. And while I'm doing that, I'm looking for sets also, and just you'll learn these sets as you go. What's the not Lord of the Rings, but the TV series? Oh, Game of Thrones, right? The Game of Thrones series, Harry Potter series. There's some more series. One that's my favorite is the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan, and so you get these in hardback, or you get these even in softback, and you just accumulate them. You're paying 50 cents for them, a quarter for them, $1 for them, and you just keep them until you get the set. And then once you get the set, you can auction it off on eBay. You can wrap it up and make it a set and sell it on Amazon. Make your own ISBN for it or your own SKU, and do it that way. So don't ever count those books out that aren't worth anything by themselves, but maybe worth $4 or $5 if a piece, and then you list them all together, and people will pay for the convenience of having that whole set. So there's the 6 things that I think will really help. They help me, and I think they'll help you have some success at a library sale. The first one was to find the sale. Obviously, find the sale. Be prepared. Have enough place to store your books and your media as you're going. Get the right equipment. Don't be intimidated. Enter the ISBNs manually. Don't forget to enter the ISBNs manually. And look at the nonfiction first, and then go into the fiction, the fantasy specifically, and keep your eye out for lots. And the final thing I'm going to add to that is make sure that you check more than just the books. Check the VHS, check the DVDs, check the CDs. As an example here, here's a CD right here. Never heard of this guy. Danny Goki, I guess. Scan it here for you real quick. Sells for $9.30 is the cheapest FBA. I paid $1/4 for it, and it has a 460 seller ranking. So don't ever count out the other media items beside books. So thanks for watching, and I hope that with these 6 things you can go in a little bit more confident to your next sale and have a better idea of what to look for to make some profit selling online.